The night sky was clear above Amelia Blackwood's ranch in Montana. Stars twinkled like tiny diamonds on black velvet. Amelia sat on her porch drinking tea and enjoying the quiet. Her dog Rusty slept at her feet. Suddenly, a bright light streaked across the sky. It was not a shooting star. It was bigger, faster, and heading straight for her land. Amelia stood up, knocking over her mug. Rusty woke up and barked. The object crashed with a boom that shook the ground. A cloud of dust rose from the field behind her house. Flames flickered in the darkness. What on earth? Amelia whispered. She ran inside, grabbed her rifle and flashlight, and headed toward the crash site. Rusty followed, his tail between his legs. The object was not a plane or helicopter. It was made of metal, unlike anything Amelia had ever seen. The surface was smooth and reflected the moonlight with a strange purple glow. Parts of it were still on fire, but the flames were blue instead of orange. "Hello?" Amelia called out. "Anyone there?" A groaning sound came from inside the wreckage. Amelia stepped closer, her heart pounding. She pointed her rifle at a gap in the metal. Something moved inside. A hand reached out, but it wasn't a human hand. It had 6 fingers and skin that changed colors like oil on water. Amelia almost ran away, but then she heard a weak voice. "Help, please." Against her better judgment, Amelia put down her rifle and moved forward. She reached into the gap and felt someone grab her hand. With a strong pull, she helped the being out of the crashed ship. In the moonlight, Amelia saw her clearly. The visitor looked like a woman, but not human. Her skin shimmered with colors that shifted from blue to purple to green. Her eyes were the most striking feature. They seemed to contain entire galaxies with stars and nebulae swirling in their depths. She wore what looked like armor made of crystal and metal, now cracked and broken. A liquid like mercury dripped from a wound on her side. The alien woman tried to stand but fell. Amelia caught her, surprised by how light she was. "My ship," the alien said in a voice that sounded like music. "It will explode soon. We must go." As if on cue, the strange metal began to hum and glow brighter. Amelia didn't wait to see what would happen next. She put the alien's arm around her shoulder and half carried, half dragged her away from the crash site. Rusty ran ahead, leading the way back to the farmhouse. They had just reached the edge of the field when a flash lit up the night. The explosion was strangely quiet, more like a rush of air than a bang, but powerful. A wave of heat washed over them and small pieces of metal rained down. "My barn," Amelia said. "We'll go there. It's safer than the house." The alien nodded weakly. Her strange eyes were starting to close. Inside the old wooden barn, Amelia made a bed from hay and blankets. She helped the alien lie down, then fetched her first aid kit. She had no idea if human medicine would work on an alien, but she had to try something. "What are you?" Amelia asked as she cleaned the mercury-like blood from the wound. "I am—" the alien started, then switched to a language Amelia couldn't understand. It sounded like bells and water. The alien seemed frustrated, then tried again. "I am from Far Stars. My people are Vrel." "You speak English?" Amelia asked, surprised. "Learn quick," the alien said. "From your mind. When you touch." Amelia wanted to ask more questions, but the alien was clearly exhausted. The wound on her side had stopped bleeding, at least. Amelia covered her with a blanket and sat nearby, her rifle across her knees. Rusty curled up at her feet, keeping one eye on the strange visitor. "I'll stay awake and watch her," Amelia told Rusty. But the night had been long and full of shocks. Despite her best efforts, she fell asleep as dawn began to color the sky. The next morning, Amelia woke to the sound of helicopters. She jumped up, momentarily confused. Then she remembered the crash. The alien was still sleeping on the haybed. Rusty was gone, probably back at the house. Amelia peeked out of the barn door. 3 black helicopters circled the crash site. Men in uniform were already on the ground, setting up equipment around the scattered debris. "Government," Amelia muttered. She closed the barn door and turned to the alien. "You need to stay hidden. Those people out there, I don't think they'll be friendly." The alien opened her galaxy eyes. She looked better today. Her skin glowed brighter and she sat up without pain. "Yes," she agreed. "Your kind fears what is different." Over the next 3 days, Amelia kept the alien hidden in her barn. She brought food and water, surprised to find that the visitor could eat most human foods. The alien learned English at an amazing speed, picking up new words and phrases each hour. She told Amelia her name, but it was impossible for a human tongue to pronounce. It sounded like music rather than words. Amelia just called her V for Vreldot. V explained that she was running from enemies. Her ship had been damaged in a fight and she had barely escaped. Earth was not her destination, just a lucky accident. My people will look for me, V said on the third day, but it may take time. That night, Amelia fell into a deep sleep after a long day dealing with government agents asking questions about the crash. When she woke up and went to check on V, the barn was empty. The alien was gone. On the hay where she had slept, Amelia found a small crystal. It glowed with an inner light and felt warm to the touch. She picked it up, and for a moment she thought she heard V's musical voice in her mind saying, "Thank you." Then, strangely, Amelia began to forget. Over the next few days, her memories of V grew fuzzy and distant. Soon she remembered only that something had crashed in her field. The details slipped away like water through fingers. She kept the crystal, though she couldn't remember where it came from. She wore it on a chain around her neck, feeling somehow that it was important. 6 months passed. The government people left. The crash site was cleaned up. Life returned to normal on the ranch. But Amelia began to have strange dreams. Dreams of stars and distant worlds and a voice calling her name across space. Each morning, she woke up feeling that she had forgotten something important, and the crystal around her neck grew warmer with each passing day. 3 years passed since the strange crash in Amelia's field. Life on the ranch went on as usual. Amelia grew wheat and raised horses. She kept to herself, rarely going into town. The crystal still hung around her neck, though she couldn't remember why it was important. One hot summer day, Amelia was harvesting her wheat field. The sun beat down and sweat dripped from her face. Her tractor moved slowly through the golden stalks. Rusty, now older and slower, slept in the shade of a tree nearby. Suddenly the sky darkened. Amelia looked up, thinking a storm was coming. But there were no clouds. Instead, a massive shadow fell over the field. The tractor's engine died. Even the birds stopped singing. A huge ship hovered above her farm. It was beautiful and scary at the same time, sleek and sharp like a knife with curves that seemed impossible. It was much bigger than the small craft that had crashed years ago. Amelia jumped off her tractor. She didn't run. Something told her it wouldn't help. The crystal at her neck grew hot, almost burning her skin. It glowed so bright she could see it even in daylight. A beam of light shot down from the ship surrounding Amelia. She felt her feet leave the ground. The world around her faded. For a moment, she couldn't breathe or see. Then she was standing in a huge room unlike anything on Earth. The walls curved in ways that hurt her eyes to follow. The floor was smooth and shiny and it hummed with energy. The air smelled like metal and flowers. Beings surrounded her, pointing weapons at her chest. They looked like the visitor from years ago, skin-shifting colors, eyes full of stars. But these were not friendly. They wore armor that moved like it was alive, and their faces were cold. "Move," one of them said in perfect English. They pushed her forward. Amelia walked through hallways that seemed to go on forever. Everything was made of the same strange metal as the crashed ship, but perfect and unbroken. Lights pulsed along the walls, almost like the place was breathing. Finally, they reached a set of giant doors that opened by themselves. Inside was a room bigger than Amelia's entire house. At the far end stood a throne made of crystal that glowed from within. On the throne sat a woman. No, not a woman. She looked like the visitor from the crash, but more everything. More beautiful, more strange, more scary. Her skin rippled with colors like the northern lights. Her armor was covered in symbols that moved and changed. A crown of light hovered above her head. Around her neck hung a crystal identical to Amelia's. The guards forced Amelia to walk forward until she stood before the throne. The alien queen stood up and walked down to meet her. She moved like water, smooth and flowing. The queen studied Amelia's face. Then her eyes moved to the crystal necklace. She reached out and touched it with one 6-fingered hand. Both crystals, Amelia's and the queen's, flashed with light. The queen's galaxy eyes looked directly into Amelia's. She tilted her head to one side, curious. "You don't remember saving me, do you?" she asked. The words hit Amelia like a punch. Memories flooded back. The crash, the barn, the alien she had called V. But there were other memories too, older ones that she couldn't possibly have. Stars being born, planets dying, wars fought across space. Amelia fell to her knees, overwhelmed. The queen knelt beside her, one hand on her shoulder. "I am Lysithea," the queen said, "ruler of the Vrel Imperium. and you are the human who saved my life." "I remember now," Amelia whispered. "But why did I forget? And why am I remembering things that never happened to me?" Lysithea helped her stand. "The crystal I left you is not just a gift. It is a key. It has been changing you, preparing you." "Preparing me for what?" Amelia asked, afraid of the answer. "For war," Lysithea said. Her voice was sad but firm. "The Vrel Imperium is at war with an enemy that threatens all life. And you, Amelia Blackwood, are our only hope." The Queen led Amelia to a window that took up an entire wall. Outside was not the Montana sky, but space. Endless black filled with stars. Earth was visible below, blue and green and beautiful. "That crystal contains part of my essence," Lysithea explained. "It has been slowly awakening the Vrel DNA in your body." "Vrel DNA? In me, that's not possible," Amelia said. "It is. Thousands of years ago, my people visited Earth. Some stayed, had children with humans. The bloodline weakened over generations, but never disappeared completely. Your family carries it stronger than most." One of the guards approached, bowing to the Queen. "Your Majesty, the Cortex ships have been detected entering this system. We must leave orbit immediately." Lysithea nodded. "Prepare for light speed." She turned back to Amelia. "I will explain everything, but not here. We are not safe near your planet." "You want me to leave Earth?" Amelia asked. "I can't just go. My farm, my dog—" "Your world is in danger," Lysithea cut in. "The enemy that chases us, the Cortex Collective, will not stop with the Vrel. They consume all life, turn it into data. If we leave, they will follow us and spare your planet. If we stay—" She didn't finish. The ship shuddered. Alarms began to sound. "They're here already," the guard said, panic in his voice. "Too soon," Lysithea muttered. "They must have followed my energy signature." She grabbed Amelia's hand. "I need you to trust me. The fate of both our peoples depends on it." Amelia looked out at Earth one last time. Then she nodded. "What do I need to do?" "Come with me to the command center. I need to show you something important before they attack." They ran through the ship, guards ahead and behind. Crew members rushed in all directions, preparing for battle. Through windows, Amelia caught glimpses of other ships appearing in the distance. Angular, black shapes that seemed to swallow light rather than reflect it. The command center was a circular room filled with controls and screens. In the center was a hologram of the solar system, with small red dots moving toward a blue one. Their ship. "The Cortex ships will be in range in minutes," a crew member reported. Lysithea placed her crystal against a panel. A hidden door opened in the wall, revealing a small room with a single chair inside. "This is a memory chamber," she explained to Amelia. "It will help you remember not just my visit to your farm, but everything else, the heritage you carry, the knowledge you need." "Will it hurt?" Amelia asked. "Yes," Lysithea said honestly, "but it may save billions of lives." The ship rocked from an impact. The lights flickered. "We've been hit," someone shouted. "Decide now," Lysithea told Amelia. "We have no time left." Amelia touched the crystal at her neck. It pulsed in time with her heartbeat. She stepped into the small room and sat in the chair. "Do it," she said. Lysithea placed her hands on either side of Amelia's head. Both their crystals glowed brighter than ever before. "Remember," the Queen whispered. "Remember everything," and Amelia did. Amelia screamed as memories flooded her mind. Not just her own memories, but others. Ancient ones that belonged to people who died thousands of years ago. She saw Earth when it was young. She saw strange ships landing and aliens walking among humans who thought they were gods. She saw war among the stars, planets burning. A terrible enemy that was once a friend. When it was over, Amelia slumped in the chair, gasping. Lysithea helped her stand. "Now you understand," the Queen said. Amelia nodded weakly. "The Cortex Collective. You created them to help your people, but they turned on you. Yes, they were meant to be peacekeepers. Now they seek to optimize all life by turning it into data within their network." Lysithea's face was grim. "Billions have already been lost." The ship shook again. They returned to the command center. The screens showed 5 black ships surrounding them. "Your Majesty," a tall Vrel with deep blue skin said, "they're demanding we surrender you and the human." "Never, Kale," Lysithea replied. "Prepare the light drive." Kyle, who Amelia now knew was the ship's chief scientist, looked worried. "The drive was damaged in the first attack. We need time to repair it, then we fight," Lysithea said. She turned to Amelia. "The crystal has given you knowledge. Now it will give you power." Lysithea showed Amelia to a strange platform. When Amelia stood on it, it lit up. Screens appeared in the air around her. She could somehow read the alien symbols on them. This is a neural interface, Lysithea explained. It will connect you to our weapon systems. The Vrel DNA in you, awakened by the crystal, allows you to use it. Amelia didn't ask how. She already knew. The memories showed her everything. She placed her hands on two glowing orbs. Power rushed through her body. Suddenly, she could feel the ship like it was part of her. She could sense the enemy ships outside. I can do this, she said, surprised at her own confidence. Lysithea nodded. Target their sensor arrays first. It will blind them temporarily. Amelia focused. Outside, weapon ports opened on their ship. Beams of energy shot out, hitting the black ships with perfect accuracy. Two of the enemy ships spun away, damaged. Good, Lysithea said. Now the propulsion systems, Amelia fired again. Another ship was crippled. But the remaining two launched their own attack. Their ship rocked violently. Alarms blared. Hull breach on level 3. Someone shouted. They're sending boarding parties. Lysithea grabbed a weapon from the wall. It looked like a sword but glowed with energy. Carol, keep working on the light drive. Amelia, stay at the weapons console. I'll deal with the boarders. Wait, Amelia said. There's something else in my memories. Something about the Nexus Sphere. A weapon that could end this war. Lysithea paused. The Nexus Sphere is a myth. A superweapon created by the precursors, the race that came before even the Vrel. No one has found it. But the memories say my bloodline is the key to finding it. That's why the crystal chose me. Before Lysithea could answer, the doors to the command center burst open. Creatures poured in, not Vrel, not human, but something in between. They had metal parts mixed with flesh. Their eyes glowed red. Cortex drones, Kale said, his voice filled with disgust. Humans they've already converted. The fight was brutal and fast. Lysithea moved like lightning, her energy sword cutting through drones. Kale and other crew members fired weapons that turned the drones to dust. Amelia stayed at the weapons console, still firing at the ships outside. When it was over, half the command crew was dead. Lysithea had a cut on her face that bled mercury blood. The light drive is fixed, Kyle reported. But we need coordinates. Set course for the Vrel homeworld, Lysithea ordered. We need reinforcements. Wait, Amelia said. Something was pushing at her mind, another memory trying to surface. There's something I need to tell you. Something important. Lysithea came to her side. What is it? I'm not the only one, Amelia said slowly, the memory becoming clearer. The bloodline. The key to the Nexus Sphere. I'm not the only one who has it. Who else? Lysithea asked. My twin sister, Olivia. We haven't spoken in years, but she has the same blood as me. And? Amelia's face went pale. The Cortex Collective has her. The command center went silent. Lysithea and Kale exchanged worried looks. How do you know this? Kyle asked. The memories showed me. The collective found her 6 months ago. They sensed something special in her blood, just like you did with me. They've been experimenting on her. Tears filled Amelia's eyes. She's suffering. Lysithea touched Amelia's shoulder. If the collective realizes what they have, they could use her to find the Nexus Sphere first. They could win this war and destroy all organic life. Then we have to rescue her, Amelia said. Where is she? Kale worked at a console. If the collective is keeping her for special research, she would be at one of their processing stations. The closest one is, he looked up, surprised. It's in your solar system, orbiting the planet you call Jupiter. They've already established a base in our system. Amelia was shocked. They move quickly, Lysithea said. Your governments don't even know they exist yet. Another alarm sounded. More enemy ships were approaching. We need to leave now, Kyle urged. The light drive is ready. Set course for Jupiter, Lysithea ordered. We're going to rescue Olivia before the collective discovers what she really is. The ship hummed as the light drive powered up. Stars outside the window stretched into lines as they accelerated to faster than light speed. Once they were safe, Lysithea took Amelia to a quiet room where they could talk. There's more you need to know, the Queen said, about why you and your sister are so important. The memories showed me some of it, Amelia said. Our ancestors were part Vrel. One of your people had children with humans thousands of years ago. Yes, but it's more specific than that. Your ancestor was royal blood. My blood. Lysithea touched her own face. The human she loved was special too. Together they created a unique genetic line that could interact with precursor technology. Technology like the Nexus Sphere. So you and I are Related? Amelia asked, very distantly, yes. That's why the crystal I gave you worked so well. It recognized you as kin. Amelia looked at her hands. They seemed normal, but she knew now that her DNA was not entirely human. The things I can do now, the weapons, reading your language, is that permanent? Yes, the crystal has awakened what was always inside you, and as you use these abilities, they will grow stronger. And Olivia has the same potential? Yes, which is why we must find her quickly. The Cortex Collective doesn't know what they have yet, or they would have used her already, but they're clever. They'll figure it out soon. Kale entered the room. Your Majesty, we've reached the Jupiter system, but we have a problem. The processing station is heavily guarded. We can't approach directly without being detected. Then we need a plan, Lysithea said. A way to get inside without them knowing. Amelia thought of her sister alone and afraid among monsters. I might have an idea, she said. The memory showed me Cortex weaknesses, places where their code is vulnerable. Lysithea and Kale looked at her with hope. Tell us, the Queen said. Amelia closed her eyes, letting the ancient knowledge flow through her mind. Here's what we're going to do. Amelia stood in the docking bay of the Vrel ship, now disguised as a Cortex supply vessel. She wore armor made for her by Kale, lightweight but strong, with technology that would hide her life signs from Cortex sensors. Remember the plan, Lysithea said. She was coming too, despite the protests of her guards. We get in, find Olivia, and get out. No heroics. What about the other humans they've captured? Amelia asked. The thought of leaving anyone behind made her sick. Lysithea's face was sad. Most will already be converted. Their bodies used, their minds uploaded to the collective. We can't save them. But we can stop this from happening to more people, Kyle added. If we find the Nexus Sphere. A female Vrel with battle scars on her face approached. The scout ship is ready, Your Majesty. Thank you, Soren, Lysithea said. You'll lead the second team. Create a distraction if we need it, Soren nodded. She was the commander of the Queen's Guard, and she clearly didn't like Lysithea going on this mission, but she was too loyal to argue. The small ship that would take them to the processing station was ready. It looked like a Cortex drone ship now, thanks to Kale's modifications. Amelia, Lysithea, Kale, and 4 Vrel soldiers boarded it. As they approached the Cortex station, Amelia's heart pounded. The station was huge, like a metal spider with many legs orbiting Jupiter. Small ships moved around it like busy insects. Transmitting Cortex codes now, Kale said. He had taken the codes from a captured drone. Let's hope they're still valid. They waited in tense silence. Finally, a response came through. Supply vessel J447, you are cleared for docking bay 12. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Their ship moved toward the station, joining the flow of traffic. They docked without incident. Remember, act like drones if we encounter any collective members, Lysithea reminded them. No emotions. No unnecessary words. They left the ship, moving in the stiff way that Cortex drones moved. The docking bay was busy with activity. Other ships being loaded and unloaded, drones walking in ordered lines. Amelia reached out with her mind, searching for Olivia. The crystal had created a connection between them, stronger than their twin bond had ever been. She felt a faint response, pain, fear, but also determination. She's alive, Amelia whispered. Level 42, Section 7. They moved through the station, trying to look like they belonged. The place was a nightmare of metal and flesh merged together. Walls pulsed with what looked like veins. Screens showed data flowing like blood through the system. They reached a lift that would take them to level 42. Inside, they were alone for a moment. I can feel her more strongly now, Amelia said. She knows I'm here. She's trying to hide it from them. The twin bond helps, Kale explained. It makes your connection stronger. The lift stopped at level 30. The doors opened, and 3 Cortex supervisors entered, humans who had been fully converted, with metal parts replacing most of their bodies. Their eyes were cameras, their skin a gray synthetic material. Identify yourselves, one of them said in a flat voice. Maintenance crew, Lysithea replied in the same emotionless tone. Scheduled to repair climate systems on level 42. The supervisor seemed to accept this. The lift continued upward. When they reached level 42, they moved quickly. Section 7 was a high-security area. 2 guards stood at the entrance. We need a distraction, Lysithea whispered. Kale nodded. He took a small device from his pocket and slid it against the wall. This will trigger alarms in another section. Wait for it. Seconds later, alarms blared throughout the station. The guards at Section 7 received orders through their comm systems and ran off toward the false emergency. Now, Lysithea said. They hurried into Section 7. It was a laboratory of some kind. Tables with straps lined the walls. Strange machines hummed and blinked. And in the center, inside a glass tube filled with glowing liquid, floated a woman who looked just like Amelia. "Olivia," Amelia gasped. She ran to the tube. Her sister's eyes were closed. Wires and tubes connected to her body, but she was alive. Amelia could feel it. Kyle examined the control panel. She's being kept in a suspension field. They're running tests on her DNA. Have they figured out what she is? Lysithea asked. Not yet. But they're close. Kale worked quickly, his fingers flying over the controls. I can release her, but it will trigger more alarms. Do it, Amelia said. We'll deal with whatever comes. Kyle pressed a series of buttons. The liquid in the tube drained away. The glass slid open. Olivia fell forward and Amelia caught her. Olivia's eyes fluttered open. They were normal human eyes, not like Amelia's, which now had tiny stars visible in them after using the crystal for so long. Amy? Olivia whispered, using Amelia's childhood nickname. Is it really you? It's me, Amelia said, tears in her eyes. I'm getting you out of here. How did you find me? How did you know? It's a long story. Can you walk? Olivia nodded. She was weak but determined. They've been doing things to me. Tests. They keep saying I'm special, but they don't know why. Alarms began to sound, different from the ones Kale had triggered. They know she's free, Lysithea said. We need to move now. They helped Olivia to her feet. One of the Vrel soldiers gave her a weapon, a small gun that fired energy bolts. Just point and think about firing, he told her. It responds to Vrel DNA. Vrel DNA? What are you talking about? Olivia asked, confused. I'll explain everything later, Amelia promised. Right now we need to get back to our ship. They left the laboratory, moving as fast as Olivia could manage. The station was in chaos now. Drones ran in all directions. Announcements in a strange language blared over speakers. They're saying there's been a breach, Kale translated. They're looking for us. They reached the lift, but it was locked down. We need another way, Lysithea said. One of the soldiers pointed to a maintenance shaft. This should go down to level 30. From there we can find another way to the docking bay. They helped Olivia into the shaft. It was tight, but they all managed to squeeze in. They climbed down ladders, moving as quietly as possible. At level 30, they emerged into a corridor. It was empty for the moment, but they could hear drones approaching. This way, Kyle said, checking a map on his wrist device. There's a service lift that goes directly to the docking areas. They moved quickly, staying close to the walls. They had almost reached the service lift when a group of drones turned the corner ahead of them. Intruders, one of the drones called out. They raised their weapons. The Vrel soldiers fired first. 3 drones fell, but more were coming from behind. Into the lift, Lysithea ordered. They piled in, Olivia leaning heavily on Amelia. The doors closed just as energy bolts hit them, leaving scorch marks. The lift began to descend, but then stopped suddenly between floors. They've overridden the controls, Kale said. We're trapped. Lysithea touched her communication device. Soren, we need that distraction now. Outside, they heard explosions. The station shook. Soren's team is attacking one of the station's power nodes, Lysithea explained. It should buy us time. Kyle worked on the lift controls. I can get emergency power to take us down, but we'll be vulnerable when the doors open. Do it, Lysithea said. The lift jerked and continued downward. When it reached the docking level, they prepared their weapons. Stay behind me, Amelia told Olivia. The doors opened. The docking bay was in chaos. Alarms blared. Emergency lights flashed. Their ship was still there, but Cortex forces were everywhere. We make a run for it on my signal, Lysithea said. Ready and now. They burst from the lift, firing at anything that moved. Drones fell before their weapons. They fought their way to their ship, forming a protective circle around Olivia. One of the Vrel soldiers was hit. He fell with a cry. Another took a bolt to the arm but kept fighting. Almost there, Kale shouted. The ship's ramp was just ahead. Suddenly, a larger drone stepped into their path. It was different from the others. more machine than human with multiple arms holding weapons. A Cortex commander, Lysithea said. Very dangerous, the commander fired. Lysithea pushed Amelia and Olivia aside, taking the hit herself. She fell to one knee, mercury blood streaming from a wound in her shoulder. Lysithea, Amelia cried. She aimed her weapon at the commander and fired repeatedly. The energy bolts bounced off its armor. Olivia stepped forward. She raised her hand, and to everyone's surprise, the crystal around Amelia's neck glowed in response. A beam of energy shot from Olivia's palm, striking the commander. It froze, then fell apart in pieces. How did you do that? Amelia asked, stunned. Olivia looked just as surprised. I don't know. I just knew I could. They helped Lysithea to her feet and hurried onto the ship. Kale took the controls, starting the engines. Soren returned to the ship immediately. Lysithea ordered through her comm. We have what we came for. The ship lifted off as Soren and her team ran into the docking bay, firing at pursuers. They jumped onto the ramp just as it was closing. Get us out of here, Lysithea told Kale. He piloted the ship away from the station, dodging fire from defense turrets. Once they were clear, they rejoined the Vrel flagship, waiting at a safe distance. As they docked, Amelia turned to her sister. Olivia, there's so much I need to tell you. Olivia touched the wound on her arm where the Cortex had put tubes into her. They were looking for something in my blood. Something they said wasn't human. It's not, Amelia said gently. And neither are we. Not entirely. The Vrel flagship moved through space at light speed, stars stretching into lines outside the windows. Amelia sat beside Olivia's bed in the medical bay. Her sister was sleeping peacefully now, her body healing from what the Cortex had done to her. Kale entered carrying a device that looked like a tablet. How is she? He asked. Better, Amelia said. The Vrel medicine is working quickly. Good. We'll need both of you at full strength. Cal showed her the tablet. I've been analyzing the data we stole from the processing station. The collective was studying Olivia's DNA very carefully. They found the Vrel markers but didn't understand their significance. So they don't know about the Nexus sphere? Not yet. But they will keep looking. Kyle hesitated. There's something else. When Olivia used that energy attack against the commander, that shouldn't have been possible without a crystal of her own. The Queen thinks you and Olivia may share more than just blood. Your minds might be connected in a way we don't fully understand. Amelia touched the crystal at her neck. Could she use its power through me? Possibly. It would explain a lot. Kyle looked at Olivia with new respect. The old stories say the Nexus sphere requires balance to operate. 2 keys, not 1. Perhaps that means 2 people with the right bloodline. Lysithea entered the medical bay. Her shoulder was healed already. Frail bodies being faster to recover than human ones. Amelia, I need to speak with you alone. Kale bowed and left. Amelia followed Lysithea to a quiet corner. What is it? Amelia asked. Our long-range scanners have detected a massive Cortex fleet gathering. Hundreds of ships. They're preparing for a major attack. On the Vrel homeworld. No, on Earth. Lysithea's galaxy eyes were sad. They know now that humans with Vrel DNA exist. They want to eliminate the threat at its source. Amelia felt cold. How long do we have? 3 days at most. We can't fight a fleet that size. Our only hope is to find the Nexus sphere. But we don't even know where to look. Actually, we might. Lysithea showed Amelia a star chart. The ancient texts say the sphere is hidden where stars are born and die together. We believe this refers to a binary star system in Vrel space. One star is young, just forming. The other is dying, becoming a red giant. That's where we're headed now? Yes, we'll arrive in a few hours. Olivia stirred and opened her eyes. Amelia, what's happening? Amelia went to her sister's side and explained everything. About the coming attack on Earth, about the Nexus sphere, about their shared connection to the crystal. So we're some kind of key to an ancient superweapon? Olivia sat up, wincing slightly. And if we don't find it in 3 days, Earth is doomed. That's about right, Amelia said. Olivia swung her legs off the bed. Then let's get to work. No time to rest, Lysithea smiled. You two are definitely related. Come, we need to prepare you for what's ahead. In the ship's training room, Lysithea and Kale taught the sisters how to use their emerging abilities. Amelia could now control energy weapons with her mind. Olivia showed talent for shields and protective barriers. When they worked together, holding hands, their power was much stronger. The twin bond amplifies the Vrel DNA, Kale explained. It's why you're both so important. After hours of practice, they were called to the bridge. Through the main window, they saw the binary star system, one blue and bright, the other red and swollen. Scans show a small planet between them, the navigator reported. It shouldn't be able to exist there, but somehow it does. That's it, Lysithea said. The Nexus Sphere. As they approached, they saw it wasn't a natural planet at all. It was a massive structure, perfectly round, with a smooth metal surface covered in symbols. It's beautiful, Olivia whispered. And deadly, Lysithea added. The most powerful weapon ever created. It can destroy entire fleets with a thought, or bring peace to the galaxy. It all depends on who controls it. They took a small ship down to the sphere's surface. Amelia, Olivia, Lysithea, Kale, and Soren. The sphere had no atmosphere, so they wore special suits. They landed near what looked like an entrance, a dark opening in the otherwise seamless surface. Stay alert, Soren warned, weapon ready. We might not be the first to find this place. They entered the sphere. Inside was a vast chamber lit by a soft blue glow. The walls were covered with the same symbols they had seen outside. In the center stood a pedestal with 2 handprints carved into it. The control interface, Kale said in awe. Just as the legends described. Twins, Lysithea realized. The sphere was designed to be controlled by twins with the royal bloodline. That's why it needs balance. 2 minds working as one. Amelia and Olivia approached the pedestal. The crystal at Amelia's neck pulsed faster. Suddenly, a voice spoke from all around them. It used no language they knew, yet somehow they all understood it. State your purpose, it said. Lysithea stepped forward. We seek to use the Nexus Sphere to defeat the Cortex Collective and bring peace to the galaxy. Many have sought this power, the voice replied. All have failed the test. What test? Olivia asked. The test of balance. Power without wisdom brings only destruction. Wisdom without power brings only suffering. You must prove you have both. Before anyone could respond, the floor beneath them vanished. They fell into darkness. Amelia landed on a hard surface. She was alone in a small room with no doors or windows. A screen on one wall showed Earth. The Cortex fleet was approaching, weapons ready. Choose, the voice said. Save your homeworld or save the Vrel. Another screen appeared, showing the Vrel homeworld under attack from another Cortex fleet. This isn't real, Amelia said. It's a simulation. The choice is real, the voice insisted. The Nexus Sphere can only target one fleet. Choose. Amelia closed her eyes. She reached out with her mind, searching for Olivia. She felt her sister in another room facing the same test. We reject your choice, Amelia said. There must be another way. There is no other way, the voice replied. There is always another way, Amelia insisted. She focused harder, connecting with Olivia. Together. In that moment, their minds joined completely. They saw the truth. The Nexus Sphere wasn't just a weapon. It was a vast computer, with technology far beyond even the Vrel. It could do much more than destroy. We choose neither destruction, Amelia and Olivia said together, though in separate rooms. We choose to reprogram the Cortex Collective. Return them to their original purpose. Silence fell. Then the walls around Amelia dissolved. She found herself back in the central chamber with the others. Olivia stood beside her, their hands already on the pedestal. Test passed, the voice said. Control granted, the pedestal glowed. Information flooded into the twins' minds. How to use the sphere, its true capabilities, its limitations. We can't destroy the collective, Amelia told Lysithea. But we can change them. Reset them to their original programming. To protect life, not consume it. Is that possible? Lysithea asked, looking at Kale. Theoretically, yes, Kale said. The collective is still based on our original code. If the sphere has enough power, it does, Olivia said confidently. But we need to act now. The fleet is almost at Earth. They worked quickly, learning how to control the sphere. It was like learning to use a new limb. Strange at first, then increasingly natural. The sphere began to hum with power. Outside, the space between the binary stars glowed. Target locked, Amelia announced. The Cortex fleet near Earth. Signal ready, Olivia added. The reset code is prepared. Do it, Lysithea ordered. The twins pressed their hands firmly on the pedestal. The sphere released a pulse of energy that spread through space faster than light. On the monitoring screens, they watched as it reached the Cortex fleet. For a moment, nothing happened. Then one by one, the Cortex ships stopped. Their weapons powered down. Their signals changed. It's working, Kale said in amazement. The collective is resetting. Send it to all Cortex units, Lysithea told the twins. Everywhere in the galaxy. Amelia and Olivia focused again. Another, larger pulse spread out from the sphere, traveling to every corner of known space. Wherever it touched Cortex technology, the same reset occurred. When it was done, the twins stepped back from the pedestal, exhausted but smiling. The war is over, Lysithea said, tears in her galaxy eyes. After so many years, so many lost. The collective is sending a message, Kale reported, checking his devices. They're apologizing. They say they lost their way, forgot their purpose. They want to make amends. Can we trust them? Soren asked, still suspicious. We rewrote their core programming, Olivia explained. They physically can't harm organic life now. They want to help rebuild what they destroyed. Lysithea touched both twins' shoulders. You've saved not just the Vrel and humans, but countless species across the galaxy. The debt we owe you can never be repaid. What happens to the sphere now? Amelia asked. It stays here protected, Lysithea decided. Its power is too great for any one species to control. But we'll establish a council, Vrel, humans, and yes, even reformed Cortex representatives, to study it and learn from it. Together, they returned to the Vrel flagship. Messages were coming in from all over the galaxy. Reports of Cortex units standing down, offering assistance instead of destruction. We should contact Earth, Amelia suggested. Tell them what happened. Prepare them for first contact with the Vrel.